Hey, sweetie, this is Michaela. Today I'll continue telling you the story of Mia's family. I'll keep updating it for you. Remember to check in every day, okay? Chapter 8: The Adventure in Ancient Greece. As the light faded, Mia's family found themselves in Athens, ancient Greece, in 440 BC. This was the golden age of Pericles' rule. Athens was showcasing unprecedented advanced ideas in various fields, such as mathematics, philosophy, and the democratic system, and it was truly the spiritual wellspring of the entire Western civilization. The intense sunlight poured down on the ancient streets. The well-arranged stone buildings all around exuded the simple elegance of this city. In the air, the faint smell of incense mingles with the salty smell of the sea, infusing every corner. In the distance, the Parthenon stood tall on the Acropolis, its white marble shining with a sacred and solemn radiance. They dressed in long robes similar to those of the locals and carefully blended into the crowd. The streets were bustling with activity. Vendors were shouting out their wares of exquisite handicrafts, pottery, and spices. Mia noticed that scholars on the street corners were passionately discussing philosophical issues, and not far away, someone was working out complex mathematical formulas. She couldn't help but marvel at the eagerness for knowledge of the people in this era. An old man passed by. Mia politely asked him in the ancient Greek she had just learned for the way to the Parthenon. The old man enthusiastically gave them directions and also started talking animatedly about the temple's legends. There was a mysterious treasure vault hidden beneath the temple, guarded by the power of the goddess, and only those truly recognized by the goddess could enter. Following the winding stone-paved road, they arrived in front of the Parthenon. The grandeur of the temple was beyond imagination. The huge Doric columns supported the entire structure, and the exquisite reliefs on the pediment vividly told the ancient Greek mythological stories. Just as they were about to enter, a group of soldiers in armor blocked their way. The leading soldier questioned them firmly about their intentions. Mia had a quick wit and said that their family were believers from afar. Having heard of the temple's holiness, they had come to pay their respects. The soldiers were skeptical, but under the sincere gazes of Mia's family, they finally let them pass. Inside of the temple, in the dim light, a huge statue of the goddess Athena stood in the center. The goddess held a spear in her hand, and her eyes were commanding, as if was guarding this sacred place. Mia's family, filled with awe, slowly walked around the statue, searching for clues related to the artifact. They discovered that the walls were engraved with ancient Greek words and patterns. After studying them, they found that the content not only included praises of the goddess, but also involved the ancient Greeks' profound thoughts on the universe and life, reflecting advanced philosophical concepts. In the corner, Mia also saw complex geometric figures, demonstrating the mathematical achievements of ancient Greece. Just then, Sammy suddenly barked at a crack in the base of the statue. Mia leaned closer to check and found a small metal piece with strange symbols engraved on it in the crack. Just as she was examining it, a low humming sound echoed in the temple, as if a mysterious call from ancient times. As the humming sound continued, the atmosphere in the temple became increasingly eerie. The originally static relief figures seemed to show signs of coming to life. Their eyes flickered, emitting a strange glow. Mia's family felt something was wrong and huddled closely together, vigilantly observing their surroundings. Suddenly, the metal piece in Mia's hand emitted a faint light, resonating with a hidden pattern on the wall. A soft beam of light shot out, pointing towards a corner of the temple. They followed the light and found a hidden secret door. When Mia touched it, the door slowly opened, and a stale breath rushed towards them. Behind the door was a narrow staircase leading into the darkness. Mia's family took a deep breath and cautiously descended the stairs. Mysterious runes flickered on the staircase walls, as if telling ancient stories. The mysterious atmosphere grew thicker. Although they didn't know what awaited them ahead, the belief in finding the artifact upheld them to move forward. When they reached the end of the stairs, an underground space suddenly appeared before their eyes. The place was filled with mist, and some devices could be faintly seen. As they approached, Mia's family realized that the ground was covered with a dense array of spike-board traps. If one stepped on them carelessly, they would be pierced by the sharp spikes. And on the walls on both sides of the passage, spikes would pop out at irregular times. Jack frowned tightly and carefully observed the layout of the traps. He noticed that there seemed to be some subtle gap between the spike boards, and perhaps they could step on these gaps to pass through. He took the lead and carefully stepped on a seemingly safe gap between the spike boards, signaling for his family to follow. Martha followed closely behind. She watched her step while remaining vigilant about the spikes that could pop out from the walls at any moment. Mia held Sammy in her arms, and Fiona fluttered her wings nervously on her shoulder. Just as they were about to pass through the spikeboard area, Mia noticed that a certain gap ahead seemed unstable. She was about to warn her family when the spikes on the wall suddenly shot out fast, stabbing fiercely in their direction. Jack quickly grabbed Martha, dodged to the side, and avoided the spikes. But in order to avoid the spikes, Mia accidentally stepped off the gap of the spike board, and one of her feet got stuck in the spike board. Fortunately, she reacted quickly and immediately pulled her foot out. Only her shoe was scratched by the spikes, and her ankle was slightly scraped. The group didn't dare to slack off in the slightest and continued moving forward. They found that there was a stone door ahead. The stone door was engraved with symbols similar to those on the metal piece. Mia, enduring the pain in her ankle, inserted the metal piece into a groove on the stone door. The stone door slowly opened, and a mysterious mist filled the passage behind the door. A melodious singing could be faintly heard. Mia's family looked at each other, their eyes firm, knowing that the artifact might be at the end of the passage. They took a deep breath and stepped towards the depths of the passage. Unknown challenges still awaited them ahead. Well, dear friends, that's where we'll conclude today's installment of the story. I truly hope you've been as captivated by it as I've been sharing it. If you've enjoyed this narrative so far, I'd be immensely grateful if you could show your support by hitting that like button. And here's a little tip for you to never miss out on the upcoming exciting chapters. Simply activate the subscription bell. In this way, you'll be promptly notified when I bring you the rest of this enthralling story tomorrow. So, stay tuned.